Once I'm happy with this part, we are ready to roll. So go ahead and scrape off the table, make sure you're working with like a clean surface, put a little bit of extra flour out because we don't want our dough sticking to the board. And at this point, I'm just gonna stick my fingers in, start to stretch it out a little bit. You want to get it into the shape that you're going for as early as you can. Because we kneaded so well and it's an enriched dough, it's actually really easy to work with and it'll stretch without tearing too much. This is actually a perfect thing to do in the winter because you don't want the dough, especially at this point, to be too warm because it'll make it a little bit harder to work with. I'm always pulling and then I'm using my bench scraper, or if you have like a spatula at home, I mean, you can use a lot of different things, anything that's straight. I just want to make sure that we have pretty tight corners. So when we get to that stage, it's just going to be much easier to work with if you're working with a really nice rectangle shape. I actually like to plop the filling down in little sections instead of kind of putting it all in one place and then moving it around. It's just a lot easier to spread. You can see that I'm really spreading this all the way to the edge. If you have an even layer, you'll get that really, really nice shape as well when you roll it up. So take your time here. It's really satisfying to spread because it's like so buttery, honestly. Whichever way you want to work, left to right, right to left, we want to start on one edge and be as even as you can. Take your time here so we have a really nice roll. If you use the length of your hand to help push it, or even at some points I was using my forearm, you want to make sure that you're getting a really even, tight roll all the way. And then use the weight of that roll to close that seam. And if there's a particularly fat part of the roll, you can kind of spread it a little bit with your hands. You can kind of stretch it ever so slightly because you want to make sure that the roll is really even so that your rolls rise really evenly and they bake evenly as well. One hack that we learned after making these so many times is to use dental floss to cut the rolls, because the dental floss actually cuts the entire slice from the outside in, whereas a knife kind of pushes from the top down and squishes the slices. It ensures that you get a perfect spiral with your slices when it's done. If they're not really holding their shape, go ahead and throw them in the fridge for 5 or 10 minutes and then kind of roll them between your hands a little bit to make sure that you're getting a good shape, and then put them into your buttered tins. This is kind of as much as you can fit in there. You don't want to jam pack them too much because these are going to expand a little bit more once we proof them. Proofing is just kind of like that second rise before they go into the oven. So it's okay, there's a little bit of space here. The rolls will expand a little bit.